it's right place, in its right place, in its right place.
Hello. What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I just got back from the theaters after checking out Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a 2017 film that was written and directed by Christopher Nolan. And the plot is, technically, it's a war movie. It's a true story. It takes place in 1940, where you see the city in France. These British soldiers, some French soldiers, they're almost surrounded in this city by Germans who are trying to kill them, and basically the whole movie is them trying to survive, trying to be evacuated, trying to get off of this island and survive as long as they can. That's it. Fairly simple, fairly straightforward, but in other ways there's a lot going on. Now, what I thought of Dunkirk was, I really enjoyed this movie. I did. It's one of those films where the only reason why I went to go see it in the theater as quick as I did, because normally if you tell me, hey, there's a war movie coming out, I'm not quick to see them. I'm not. I really only saw this movie because Christopher Nolan is the director. That's the only reason, honestly. Christopher Nolan is one of those directors that I can watch him make anything. Of the way he chose to make this movie. There is very little, like, least amount of dialogue as you could think of. It's just really, we're following three sets of stories, or three sets of characters in this one story. It's one private soldier played by Fionn Whitehead, an actor that I don't recall ever seeing before, and he doesn't speak, like I said, at least not very much in the movie. It's really, for his part, you're following him being in the city and trying to get out. He's trying everything. He's a little desperate, and his scenes especially make you think, wow, this war sucked. Or just anything as far as being a soldier. It's just, this is not fun. Mark Rylance plays this guy who basically doesn't want to sit back. He's at home, he has his own boat. Him and his son and this other kid decide to go out there in his own boat to save as many soldiers, rescue as many people as he physically can. And he doesn't have to do this. He probably shouldn't do this, judging by the danger, and he's even bringing the son along, but he wants to do something. Other actors, Kenneth Branagh is a commander, Cillian Murphy, in IMDb he's listed as the shivering soldier. He gets rescued by Mark Rylance, and he's just a mess. You could tell he's been through a lot. He's going through PTSD. Harry Styles, who I'm not 100% familiar with. I know some people know him from some band or some shit like that. Honestly, I don't really care about that stuff. I will say him as one of the soldiers I thought was actually pretty good. And the other character, who he's a pilot. You're following him in the air, trying to take down as many German planes as he can. Tom Hardy plays this character who most of the time he's wearing a mask. So any dialogue that he says is a little muffled, hard to understand. Might sound familiar, especially with Nolan playing Bane, but still, he was just one of those characters where every time it cut to him, every time you saw him doing his thing in the plane, in the air, the cinematography just looked amazing. It did. Just the shots that Nolan was able to get in the air, seeing the sea, seeing the scope and the sky, and you could tell it's all practical. I would say, if not 100%, 99.9% of what went on in this film was practical. The sound mixing, and I normally don't talk about sound editing and whatnot, but just the bombs going off, the gunshots going off, it was visceral in those ways. It was able to create fear and tension and atmosphere, again with little dialogue. The score, Hans Zimmer's score. I have praised Hans Zimmer many times for many movies, mostly superhero movies, but still many scores that he's done that are great. But this was just different. This was just so in your face, so haunting. It was more about putting you through these situations, more about having you live in these experiences. Maybe the only negative about the movie, if I had to point out a negative, is that it took me maybe 15-20 minutes to fully get invested or into the story, because you don't spell out these characters' backstories. You don't really get to know them as far as their history, as far as even really context. You just get thrust into this event, and then you just follow from then on. You don't get a whole lot of backstory. You don't get a whole lot of other stuff. You're just meant to follow these people and say, shit, this could have been you, or this could be anybody. I'm gonna give it a full price. Over time, like, even as I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna really put this movie high up there on my top 10 list of the year. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you're interested in seeing Dunkirk. If you have seen Dunkirk, did you like it? Did you love it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!